Hi everyone, it's Catherine from Buggalena. I am very excited to show you my new invention. It is a double pocket snap tab. It has a front pocket which snaps shut, and then it has a back pocket. Nice and roomy, and you can use it for all kinds of fun things. Some things you're going to want to have are scissors, some tearaway stabilizer, something to cut open your pocket with. I have this little rolling cutter or an X-Acto knife or even a seam ripper. Any of those will work just fine. Then you're going to want to have some sort of adhesives on hand. I'll talk about these ones more when we get to the point of where we're going to need them. One thing I wanted to mention with these, I thought it was best to use a colored bobbin. So that's why I had to run to Joann Fabrics earlier, because I didn't have any for my machine. So, so that way the back and the front and both sides of your pocket will look the same. So let's get started. I've hooped a sheet of tearaway stabilizer, and I'm going to bring this over to my machine and we will get started. One sec. Okay, hold that thought. Before I walk over to the machine, I forgot fabric. In this case, I am using the glitter mirror canvas vinyl. This is my ultimate go-to vinyl for my projects. I don't know, I just love this stuff. It's not too thin, not too thick, and it works great. So I'm going to go ahead, since I'm only going to do one for this demonstration, I'm going to use this one piece and I'm going to cut it into 4 pieces. Okay, now I'll meet you over at my embroidery machine. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is load our design. For convenience purposes, I actually have a hooping with both the front pocket and the back, but don't worry about that. You'll just load yours one at a time. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do after I've picked my colors is I'm going to run the very first placement stitch. Now I'm running this right onto my stabilizer. Okay, next you're going to want to add your fabric. You could use some spray adhesive if you want, or tape it, but I don't even find either of that necessary for this. These are so quick and easy. So I'm going to go ahead and just lay my vinyl over the area and click start. First thing it stitches is the pocket opening. Okay, it just finished stitching the pocket opening, and next it's going to go do the details. In this case, this one is going to be a Harry Potter inspired one, so it has a lightning bolt and some glasses symbols. So I'm going to let that stitch out next. Okay, it just stitched out the lightning bolt and the glasses, and it also stitched out a small circle, and that's your placement circle for one of your snaps. In one sec. Okay, so the next thing it wants to stitch is the final placement stitch. But before that, what we're going to do is we're going to take our hoop off real quick, and we're going to run it over to our table area. And this is where you want to just cut open real quick the opening of your pocket. I am choosing the X-Acto knife, and I have it open so you can see it just cuts right through both. Okay, heading back over to the machine. Okay, so next we're going to take our second piece of vinyl, and I'm going to put that face down underneath. You could, while we had the hoop out, you could have just taped that underneath if you wanted. I find I have pretty good luck by just holding mine, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Once it gets started, it usually just grabs it and holds it. Okay, it has finished stitching that final outline. Attached to the final outline is also a second snap placement, stitch area. Okay, so now I'm going to just remove this from my machine and walk over and take this out of my hoop. Okay, back at my work area, I'm just going to go ahead and tear away some of the excess stabilizer real quick. And I'm also going to quickly, what I call rough cut around my design, because I like to work with a smaller area when I'm holding my scissors. Okay, I'm going to pull up a chair and cut that out. Safety first. Okay, I know I've talked about it a million times, but if you can see, I kind of hold my scissors slightly outward as I cut. And I'm turning my vinyl with my left hand as I cut with my right. Pretending there's an imaginary outline, I am going around. I'm going a little faster than I usually do since we're making the video, so hopefully this isn't horrible. Okay, so once I have that cut out, I'm actually going to move over to my next little area and put on my snaps. Okay, you have two placement areas for your snaps. You can go ahead and for the top one, just punch right through both layers. I have a few tie-off threads I'm going to just trim real quick because I don't want them sticking out my snap area. This one I don't have to really worry about too much because that's going to end up getting covered anyway. Okay, second hole I am going to do from the inside of my pocket going outward. And it doesn't have to be perfect, just somewhere in the center of that. Okay, in this instance, we are going to put in our snaps backwards. We normally, put them forward for the snap tabs, so we are going to put them in backwards. There's one and two, and then we need our studs and sockets. So I'm hoping you can see this from the camera angle, but your snap setter fits right inside. Give it a slight squeeze. That one's set. and your next one set. So now we are going to snap them together. I like to squeeze it down a little bit. So now you have a working pocket here. Okay. We are going to head back to the machine. One moment. Okay, we're back at the machine now, and I have hooped another piece of tearaway stabilizer and loaded the second design. There are only 2 steps, so it's a very fast. In total of both designs, there's only 7 minutes stitching time. But anyway, the first step is a placement stitch, and you know, normally I skip those, but in this little project's case, I am going to use it. Okay, now at this point we're just going to take this off the hoop and bring this back over to the work area. Now, ultimately what we're going to be doing is putting this down and taping it, and then running a final stitch with 2 layers underneath. This is a little cheat I've been doing because it helps me not have to tear away too much stabilizer, so I have just been like cutting an area. This is totally optional. This is me being lazy. You can do it like normal. And I take this little piece out. Silly, I know. I'm gonna go ahead and turn my hoop over, and I'm going to take 2 more pieces of vinyl. I'm going to put them wrong sides together, so right sides are out. I'm going to lay them on my hoop. This is a pink embroidery tape I found at a local store. Geez, it feels just like masking tape, but it's pink. I don't know. So I am going to do that since there are 2 layers. Okay, now I'm going to turn it back over. Now, the next thing we're going to do is lay down our pocket piece. It just goes right inside that area. Now here's where we're going to talk a little bit about the tapes, because I tried a few different things to see what works. I bought this sticky Fabri-Salvi, so it's like a water-soluble stabilizer that's sticky. You peel off the backing, and then I laid those down. Worked good. I mean, it was fine. Scotch tape, that worked great too. And then this Wonder tape I kind of liked the most just because it didn't give me such a huge area to worry about. Of course, the first time I used it, it sure didn't stick to my fingers. Well, let's try another piece. The only thing I really worried about taping down when I was making all my tests is just the very corners going this way, because your machine's going to come around and you don't want it to catch on those corners. So you just push that down, and then there is a backing to this stuff you have to pull up. So I'm going to go ahead and do both corners. And just for the heck of it, I'm going to stick a little tiny piece of Scotch tape on the bottom since it's popping up. Okay, so we're good. We're going to go ahead and bring this little crazy thing over to the embroidery machine. Now it's back in the embroidery machine, and we're just going to go ahead and stitch that very last stitch. machine says it just finished stitching that final outline, so I'm going to say okay, so you can be quiet there. The machine, not you. Anyway, I'm removing it from my hoop, and I'm going to take it over to my work area. Okay, I have removed it from my hoop. I'm going to tear off any excess stabilizer I see. And don't worry about seeing this little extra string come out. Remember, that is that placement stitch that we used to know where to line up the pocket. And that's fine because you're going to trim that off anyway. This Wonder wash away tape, it does come off if you use a very warm wet washcloth and wipe that off. I didn't bring one in here. I left it in the bathroom. So I'll do that after. And the Scotch tape peels right off too. See, I almost like the Scotch tape the best. I think in my next one I'm going to just use Scotch tape and see how that goes. Alright, so next I'm going to trim this out and add my front snap. So I'm actually going to move over to my other little work area after I cut off some of this excess. Alright, that's good. Okay, over at my little work area, and I'm getting ready to cut it out. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. I just heard my camera girl's stomach grumble. Too funny. I'm just following along the pocket outline as best as I can. Okay, now that's cut out, I'm going to turn over. Look, I like to trim off my little tie-down stitches. Okay, and in this case we are going to make this snap tab just like we do any other, and that's by poking a hole near the center down here, poke another hole right here, and we're going to stick these ones in front ways like we usually do. Alright, now we need a stud and socket. So I'm going to lay that on there. Give that a little pinch. And that a little pinch. And okay, I always check to make sure my snaps work good before I put on my hardware. And there you go. Of course, I still need to wipe off that glue tape. And note to self, I'm definitely going to use Scotch tape next time. So any questions, definitely ask in our Buggalena group or email our website via the contact form, and that's www.buggalena.com. Thank you.